الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على أشرف الأنبياء والمرسلين نبينا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه ومن دعا بدعوته واستنى بسنته وسار على نهجه إلى يوم الدين. أما بعد، السلام عليكم ورحمة الله تعالى وبركاته. Inshallah, as usual, we will continue with our Tafseer on Surah Al-Baqarah. These are some of the verses in Surah Al-Baqarah. If I'm not mistaken, yesterday we paused on verse 19, where Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala is saying, أو كصيب من السماء فيه ظلمات ورعد وبرق يجعلون أصابعهم في آذانهم من الصواعق حذر الموت والله محيط بالكافرين. So Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala, as we explained, yesterday, he was given the likeness, of the hypocrites, that is the munafiqun, where he, at one point, he used the fire as an example, and then at the second point he used the rain as an example, regarding giving their likeness or illustrating them using or their behavior or their situation using the fire. Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala said, مثلهم كمثل الذي استوقد نارا فلما أضاءت ما حوله ذهب الله بنورهم وتركهم في ظلمات لا يبصرون صم بكم عمي وهم لا يرجعون. Then he said, أو كصيب من السماء فيه ظلمات ورعد وبرق يجعلون أصابعهم في آذانهم من الصواعق حذر الموت والله محيط بالكافرين. So in today's inshallah lesson we'll be looking at verse 19 and verse 20 and 21. If possible, we may move to the next verse if time permits. So inshallah we'll be repeating verse 19, 20 and 21. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. أو كصيب من السماء فيه ظلمات ورعد وبرق يجعلون أصابعهم في آذانهم من الصواعق حذر الموت والله محيط بالكافرين. يكاد البرق يخطف أبصارهم كلما أضاء لهم مشوا فيه وإذا أظلم عليهم قاموا ولو شاء الله لذهب بسمعهم وأبصارهم إن الله على كل شيء قدير. يا أيها الناس اعبدوا ربكم الذي خلقكم والذين من قبلكم لعلكم تتقون. Alhamdulillah, in these noble verses of the Quran, just quickly repeating the last verse we posted on yesterday as the verse of connection with the subsequent verse. Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala was saying, أو كصيب من السماء, or a downpour, that is rain from the sky. فيه ظلمات, in it there are darkness, ورعد and thunder, وبرق and lightning, That is, he is giving the state of the munafiqun, equating it to someone at a period, at a time where there is heavy downpour, it's moving in it, there is darkness, there is thunder, there is lightning. يجعلون أصابعهم في آذانهم من الصواعق حذر الموت. They put their fingers, into their ears, for the fear of what? Whenever there is thunderclap, sound, they, put their their fingers in their ears, من الصواعق حذر الموت, for the fear of what? Death, as if the sound, will take their life. That is the behavior of the munafiqun whenever Quran is being revealed, whenever Quran is being recited. Because when a verse is being recited, sometime before the verse is read by the Prophet ﷺ to the companions, they will be afraid as if it is a verse that is actually going to speak on them. As we mentioned yesterday in one of the verses of the Quran, that is in Surah Al-Munafiqun, Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala is saying, يحسبون كل صيحة عليهم وإذا رأيتهم تعجبك أجسامهم وإن يقول تسمع لقولهم كأنهم خشب مسندة يحسبون كل صيحة عليهم. They are thinking as if whatever revelation is coming down is what is going to, or warning coming is what landing on them. So they are always in perpetual fear. Then Allah says, Wallahu muhitun bil kafirin. Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala surrounds the unbelievers. On the day of judgment, yes, He will gather them all. That is, He has knowledge of all of them, and He will gather them at any point in time He wants to gather them. Then now He went further, saying in the next verse, that is, Wallahu muhitun bil kafirin, He said, Yakadu al-barqu yakhtafu absarahum. The lightning is, when it strikes, it's as if it wants to take their sight. When a very bright light suddenly flashed at your eyes, sometimes you kind of go blind before your vision comes back to normal. So that's, when lightning comes, and that's how they feel. When Quran is being recited, they get what? As if they get blank. That is, they go blind. Because as Allah described them, He says, Summun bukmun. Summun, they are what? Deaf. Bukmun, dumb. Umyun, and what? Blind. Because yes, they will not see the light. That is, they will not see the verse or see the revelation and be able to see the truth in it. It's like they are still blind. زكاة البرق يخطف أبصارهم كلما أضاء لهم مشوا فيه. So Allah is using that, the practical ground of maybe somebody in that state to compare their behavior. So كلما أضاء لهم مشوا فيه. When that lightning strikes a bit and they're able to see small, مشوا فيه, they move in it. وإذا أظلم عليهم, when it disappears, what happens? قاموا, they stand still. When lightning strikes, how many seconds? Just very short moment. So if their movement is going to be determined by just within the period they can see with the lightning, that means it will take them a long time to even get to their destination. Because if they will be waiting for the lightning to come before they can move, that means their movement will just within a few seconds, and they are what? They stop. Allah says, وَإِذَا أَصْلَمَ عَلَيْهِمْ قَامُوا. And that is how they are. It shows the kind of confusion they are in. Then Allah says, وَلَوْ شَاءَ اللَّهُ, if Allah wills, لَذَهَبَ بِسَمْعِهِمْ, He would have taken their hearing, وَأَبْصَارِهِمْ, لَذَهَبَ بِسَمْعِهِمْ وَأَبْصَارِهِمْ, and their sight. Meaning He doesn't have to use that if He wants to, take their sight or get them, deaf, to do that. Because in the case of Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala, as He mentioned in a verse of the Quran, that إِذَا قَضَى أَمْرًا فَإِنَّمَا يَقُولُ لَهُ كُنْ فَيَكُونُ. If He desires something, all He does is what? Be. and it is. So if he wants to take your hearing, he wants to take your eye, your sight, he doesn't need any procedure. إذا قضى أمرا فإنما يقول له كن فيكون. If he says be, it will what? It will be. إن الله على كل شيء قدير. Certainly Allah تبارك وتعالى has power over all things. Then he now went further to say, يا أيها الناس اعبدوا ربكم الذي خلقكم والذين من قبلكم لعلكم تتقون. Then after this verse, then Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala now turned the direction of what? Of the revelation. Here that at the beginning he spoke about the believers. He was describing the set of people that were gathered around that time. He started with the believers. He now went toward to the unbelievers. He now decided to after that went toward the hypocrites. So now he is calling all of us. He now says, Ya ayyuhan nas, O you mankind. It is both the believers, the unbelievers, and the hypocrites. So he is now calling everyone. One of the things we know about the characteristics of surah, that is surahs that are Makkiyah and Madaniyah, is that most virtually the surahs that are Makkiyah, the calls in them, Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala usually use in most cases the word Ya ayyuhan nas. And then in surah, that is surahs that are Madaniyah, Allah used more of what? Ya ayyuhal ladina amanu. So, but that notwithstanding, you will still find some verses or some calls or using Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala using Ya ayyuhan nas in some places in chapters or surahs that are Madaniyah, like in this case. As though Surah Al-Baqarah is a surah Madaniyah, and like we said, in most of the surahs that are Madaniyah, you will see that the calls in it mostly, the word Ya ayyuhan nas is not mostly used. Which word? Ya ayyuhal ladina amanu. While surah, that is the surahs that are Makkiyah, you have more of the word, the call using what? Ya ayyuhan nas. But like we said, you can still find some few traces of Ya ayyuhal ladina, Ya ayyuhan nas in surahs that are Madaniyah, and some also Ya ayyuhal ladina amanu, possibly in some surahs that are Makkiyah. Like in this case, we have this Ya ayyuhan nas in this surah, which is what? Madaniyah. So Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala is saying here, Ya ayyuhan nas, O you mankind. So it is a call to human being generally. It doesn't matter whether you are a mu'min, whether you are a munafiq, whether you are a kafir. Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala is now calling on to everyone. To what? To the next, to the instruction he's going to give. He said, U'budu rabbakum. Worship your Lord. Worship your Lord. Being our Rabb, being our creator, being our sustainer, being the one upon from him whom we come and from whom to whom unto whom we are going back, the one sustaining us, and that made him to what? To deserve to be worshipped. So he's now telling us that what? U'budu rabbakum. Worship your Lord. Alladhi khalaqakum. The one who created you. Walladhina min qablikum. And he also created those before you. Meaning we are not the first, only for the first people he created. He is the one who created us, and he's the one who created those before us. And here also he commanded us with one thing. That is what? Ibadah. He said, U'budu, worship. وَمَا هُوَ الْعِبَادَةِ الْعِبَادَةُ هُوَ كُلُّ مَا يُحِبُّهُ اللَّهُ وَيَرْضَاهُ. Al-ibadah, that is worship of Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala, is anything that Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala likes, whatever he desires. This is imtithal al-awamir wa ijtinab al-nawahi. That is doing what he commands you to do and abstaining from what he asks you to abstain from. That is, you do what he asks you to do and you leave what he asks you to leave. That is what ibadah means. That's what ibadah means. That is doing what Allah wants And like I do explain to us from time to time, when they say ibadah, don't think you are offering something to Allah. Because one of the things that slows most of us down is because we feel when anything is referred to as ibadah or as worship of Allah, it's like you are doing something for Allah's benefit. And that is why other things that you think are for your own benefit, you paid attention to them more than the ones you think is for Allah's benefit. Because it's natural with any human. We give preference to what benefits us over what benefits another person. And that is why the Messenger ﷺ, when he was asking you to relate with others, he now told you to what? He said, you are not a believer. In the hadith transmitted by Imam Al-Bukhari, he said that لا يؤمن أحدكم حتى يحب لأخيه ما يحب لنفسه. He said, one of you is a believer until he like for his brother what he like for himself. And somewhere Allah Ta'ala said, لن تنالوا البر, you cannot attain righteousness, you cannot attain piety حتى تنفقوا مما تحبون, until you give out of what you like, what you desire. So being that some worldly things, we tend to look at those things as things that are for our own personal benefit. That is why we give preference to those things that are referred to as an ibadah, because we feel it is something or it is a service we are rendering to Allah. We are equating it to human being. In the case of human being, if you serve anybody, that person benefits from you. But in the case of Allah, when you serve Him, He has no single benefit from your own service. But rather, it is the person serving Him that is benefiting 100% from His service. Where from human perspective, when you are serving anybody, take for example, if you are serving as a security officer to anybody, ordinarily, then his life is protected by you. Then that means anybody who wants to get to him will have to get you down first. That is, anyone who wants to take his life will take your own life first, or incapacitate you first before he can get to him. That means you are using your life to what? To protect him. But in the case of Allah, every service you render to Allah, it is a service meant for your own benefit, not for His own benefit. He only connected that service to Him, to Himself, just as a way of encouraging you. That's why He said to us in the verse of the Quran, "Man amila salihan falinafsi, wa man asaa fa'alayha." Whoever does evil, he is the one to suffer it. He said, whoever does good, he is the one to benefit for himself, that is for his own benefit, and whoever does evil he is the one who suffers it. Another way for you to understand this is this. Like we said before, al-ibadah means kullu ma yuhibbuhu Allah, whatever Allah likes. And then we also explained it as what? Doing what Allah commands you to do, and abstaining from things He commands you to abstain from. That is, doing what He wants you to do and leaving what He doesn't want you to do. Now begin to pick so many of actually anything He asks you to do and check. You will discover that they are things that the return, the benefit comes back to you. For example, He asked you to what? Not to consume alcohol. He asks you not to consume intoxicants. That is, He commanded you not to take anything that what? Intoxicates you, that affects your mental state. Anyone that wants to abuse you sometime, when you speak, if he wants to tell you are talking trash or you are talking nonsense, instead of telling you that what you are saying doesn't make sense, he will tell you you are speaking or you are talking like a drunkard. If somebody tells you that you are speaking or talking like a drunkard, you feel bad. Why? Because he's telling you are not talking in a good mental state. Oh, Allah prohibits you from taking life. If you comply by that, people's life will be safe in your hand, and your own life will be safe in other people's hand. Because when you comply and others comply, you will take their life and they also will take your own life. Allah commanded you not to what? Not to devour, not to eat your brother's wealth unjustly. وَلَا تَأْكُلُوا أَمْوَالَكُمْ بَيْنَكُمْ بِالْبَاطِلِ. Do not devour, do not consume, do not eat your properties, the properties of yourself unjustly. If someone cheats you, you feel bad. So if you avoid cheating, you protected the property of others from your harm. And if others stop cheating, your own property is also protected from theirs. So when you pick anything Allah tells you not to do, you will discover that there are things that makes you happy and make those around you happy. So Allah Ta'ala, through the Messenger Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, told you that what? You are not a Muslim if other Muslims are not free of the affliction of what? Your tongue and your hand. So if you stop harming others with your hand and your tongue, and others stop harming you with their tongue and their hand, who benefits? Is Allah. Because you cannot harm Allah. You can harm Him. Oh, Allah will tell you give sadaqah. Somebody say, who will give, loan to Allah? It's your brother, you give what you give. It's not him. مَا أُرِيدُ مِنْهُمْ مِنْ رِزْقٍ وَمَا أُرِيدُ أَنْ يُطْعِمُونَ. So in essence, we need to redefine what an ibadah is in terms of our thinking, so that we'll give it preference over what? The worldly things. So that we can be able to walk with that verse of the Quran where Allah says, وَتُؤْثِرُونَ الْحَيَاةَ الدُّنْيَا. They give preference to the life of this world. وَالْآخِرَةُ خَيْرٌ وَأَبْقَى. The hereafter is better and what? Everlasting. He said, اعبدوا ربكم, worship your Lord, الذي خلقكم, the one who created you, والذين من قبلكم, and those before you, لعلكم تتقون, so that you may be what? God conscious. So inshallah, with this we come to the end of today's segment. May Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala put us among those who will answer this call of Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala and submit ourselves to Him. With this, I say Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Subhanakallahumma wa bihamdik, nashhadu an la ilaha illa anta, nastaghfiruka wa natubu ilayk.